Welcome to Living Large Television with Mark Henry, CEO of Alloy Wealth. For over 15 years, Alloy Wealth has focused on your financial needs and values when it comes to retirement planning and investment management. Mark and his team are committed to helping pre-retirees and retirees navigate complicated future planning decisions in order to meet and exceed your goals. This is Living Large Television.
Welcome to Living Large Television. My name is Cynthia DeFazio. I'm joined today by Mark Henry. He is CEO of Alloy Wealth Management in Charlotte and Greenville, et cetera, because you just keep growing. And I'm so glad to see you thrive and to be successful. Mark, what are we at now? Episode 130, roughly?
I don't know, something like that.
That's just amazing.
It's a bunch. Who would have ever thought, right?
Who would have ever thought?
I was over at WBT recently, and they're in Charlotte, and they asked, I was on the news, but then I stopped by the radio portion.
Oh.
And they were talking about how many years I've been on their radio station, and got to see Bo Thompson. He's a big fan, and I'm a big fan of Bo's there in Charlotte. Bo's just he's a Charlotteanian.
Yeah.
John Kirk, your neighbor, one of my advisors, he loves that title because there's not many of them around.
No.
I'm not. I think of myself that, but I grew up in Georgia, so I'm really not. But Bo is, and Bo does an amazing job there on WBT Radio, and he's got a very big fan base, and so partnered up with him, and we've become good friends. But he's like, how many years has this been now? And I was talking to Scott Casey and some of the others over there at WBT, and they're like, Mark, this has been like 7, 8, 9 years now. I'm like, it just goes by so much.
It really does.
And they're in Greenville. We've been on the Fox Carolina station there in Greenville now. We do the news, the Money Matters on Wednesdays on Fox Carolina, and we've been doing that now for, it's almost a year, and I'm pretty sure they're going to renew my contract, because, obviously it's me. Obviously they're going to want me to come back for another year. And maybe I can get a little raise out of that gig. So call in if you're in Greenville, call in and say, we want to see more of Mark Henry, so maybe they'll give me a raise. But, it's just amazing. It's a fun time.
It really is. And Mark, obviously today's show is so amazing because we're going to talk about the 4 big needs in retirement.
Yeah, the 40?
Sometimes they're almost missed.
Did you say 40?
The 4.
Okay, 4. Okay, that's going to be a longer show. They give us more airtime?
Yeah.
4. Okay. So I got to narrow it down to 4 big needs. Oh my gosh.
4
All right, but there's so many things you have to look at in retirement. I hope I can do 4.
I know.
But because I can think of more than 4. We try to build the walls pretty high. The Bible's clear you can't build them high enough, but I try.
That is true. That is true.
We can try. So, all right, well, let's do the 4 big needs.
All right, sounds good. Well, the first one, right out of the gate.
Yeah, I know what that's going to be. It has to be income.
Very important.
I've said it this way before, but if you're blessed to have $20 or $30 million, something like that for retirement, income is not as big of a problem because there's probably no chance that I can't find you a place to take some money from to pay bills.
Right.
But for everybody else, for those of you that are watching and you've saved $500,000, $2 million, you got to think about, we have to build an income plan. Most people, Cynthia, I know how you've done life, you and your lovely husband. You work. Mm-hmm. You work with me, you host a lot of shows, you're a consumer advocate, but then you also have a large, thriving real estate practice. And I want you to watch for Cynthia's show. You got to watch for her show out there in Charlotte because I'm sure it's a great show. But there is an episode coming up that I may make a cameo on, so obviously that's going to be a fabulous episode.
That's going to be the best one yet.
But I think about how you do life, and I don't think the way you do life is any different than the viewers watching. You and your husband earn a living. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you collect this money. Out of that money, you pay taxes.
Pay taxes,
that's
absolutely.
That's a reward we get for being blessed to live in the United States. That's what taxes are. They're a reward for the benefit of living in this great country. Mm-hmm. Now, there's no benefit in paying in too much in taxes.
Right.
You don't get any extra. You still live in the same place.
Right.
So, but you got to pay taxes. So you do that.
Absolutely.
You save. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's probably hopefully that's what people are watching this show, listening to my radio show, Living Large, they do that. They save. Okay. So you're paying taxes, you're saving. Then you spend. Mm-hmm. That's how you do life.
Yeah. So
people are so accustomed to doing that from the time they're 16, 17, 13 years old. That's when I got my first job.
Yeah.
You do that, okay? And then when you retire, it's like it's all different. No, it's not different. And this is Wall Street has confused people. They're trying to convince you it's about some number on a piece of paper they mail to you. That is not retirement.
Yeah.
When you think about retirement, think about how you've managed to do life. So let's compare the two. Well, first off, you know what retirement really is, Cynthia? It's the first time in your life you've been unemployed and you want to stay that way for the rest of your life.
You know what, Mark, you're right.
Let's clear this up. I'm a pretty simple guy. When I help someone retire, here's how we're doing this.
Yep.
You're going to be unemployed, and we're going to make sure you stay that way. Right?
That is perfect. I
Okay.
love how you describe that.
So that's what it looks like. So now, instead of working and collecting a paycheck, you're going to pay yourself. Now, you're still going to have to do what? Pay taxes.
That's very
It doesn't change.
Yeah.
So why hasn't your big box firm you're working with ever talked to you about taxation in retirement? Why haven't they helped you with that? Why do they have a big disclaimer? Go see someone else. Do something different. Oh, no. You know, yes, you do not have retirement plan. You're not set up for retirement. You're not set up for life if you're not talking about taxes. So we have to do that. Okay. Now, you currently save. Do you have to save when you retire? No, but I see many people still saving. Whoa, that's not, it's spending time.
Yeah.
We've already saved. So that part's gone. But we are going to need to spend. Okay, now, here's the problem. Before you spent what was left over after you paid taxes and after you saved for retirement. Now, in retirement, what do you spend? I don't know. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You see, before you knew you were okay spending whatever was left as long as you did what? Paid taxes and saved.
And save. Yeah.
You felt comfortable spending.
Of course.
When
But-
people retire,
Yes.
they have to pay taxes, but they're not comfortable spending anything.
Yeah.
Because they don't know how long they can continue to pay themselves, which is why you have to start. The number one thing we have to start with is a written income plan. And you know how you're going to want your income to come in, Cynthia?
How?
Monthly.
That makes sense.
You know how long you're going to want it to last?
Forever.
As
Right.
long as you and your husband are
I would think
alive.
so.
If one of you is alive, you want the income to come in on the first of the month.
Absolutely.
So you can do life.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you're going to want your income adjusted for inflation. There's that big I word in this crazy world, right?
Absolutely.
You want it adjusted for inflation after taxation, and you want to know it comes in every month forever.
Yeah.
You want to know that it's enough to fill the income gap. And people say, Mark, what's an income gap? It's real simple. We need to know what you want to spend in retirement. And the best way to know that, if you don't currently know, it's real simple. Tell me what you're currently living on. Forget all these knuckleheads that want to tell you, oh, when you retire, you're going to spend 70% of what you make and all that. No, you're finally going to have freedom. You're going to have time to do the things you want to do in retirement, and that takes money. So let's at least start with what you're currently getting after taxation, after saving. How much are you living on? Let's get that much in your income plan, okay? So we have this income. Social Security covers this part of it. So let's say you want $10,000 a month. After taxation adjusted for inflation. Okay, your Social Security for you and your husband is $4,000. What's your income gap?
6,000.
You did math. You say you can't
It's a
do it on the
miracle.
show.
It's a miracle.
Woo! A miracle has
Where's the
happened on Living
confetti?
Large. That's exactly right. Cynthia did math on the first time. That's called an income gap. We have to fill that income gap. They're telling me we got to go to break. That Randy is just going nuts in there. Mark, break. All right, we're going to go to break. But when we come back, we'll talk more about this and about income planning. Here's the number on your screen. It's not a toll-free helpline. Have your appointment book ready. Call 888-272-0650. Leave your checkbook at home. If you've saved $250,000 or more for retirement, this is for you. You will come into our beautiful office in Greenville or there in Charlotte, and we will help you build a confident financial future. And how we're going to do that is by listening to you. My team of fiduciary advisors, they have a legal interest of obligation to do what is in your best interest. My team of certified financial planners without charge of any kind, if you've saved $250,000 or more, there'll be no obligation of any kind. We'll do all the heavy lifting, we'll build a written retirement plan and give it to you absolutely complimentary if you'll do one simple thing. Pick up the phone and call 888-272-0650.
Mark, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, that number to call is on your screen. The number is 888-272-0650. We're going to take a very short commercial break, but don't go anywhere. We have more coming up on Living Large TV about the 4 big needs in retirement. We're uncovering income as we go. Stay tuned.
You know, I was 13 years old. And I walked in the house and I could just tell, you could feel the tension even at that young age. And it turned out my dad had lost his job. There was talk of us moving and the only home I'd known and all this uproar and what was going to happen. It was very traumatic for me at 13 years old. You fast forward a number of years later, my father and my mom are retired. They live in Jupiter, Florida. My dad was an avid golfer. And it was just the retirement of their dreams. And I got a phone call on a Monday. I was still living in Atlanta at the time. And my mom said, you know what happened today in the financial markets? It was referred to as Black Monday. And basically they had lost in a single day over half of their retirement savings. Losing over half of it at one time in one day caused him to then move it all out. And then it became apparent that he couldn't stay in the retirement of his dreams. And the reality is, what control did my dad have over when Black Monday happened? Well, he didn't. But he did have control over how he was invested. But my father didn't have a retirement plan. And when I designed Alloy Wealth and built Alloy Wealth, it was on the structure of, there's plenty of wealth managers out there. But what you can't find is a partner in the planning side of retirement. We do everything here at Alloy Wealth with the end in mind. We figure out what we're looking for in the future, and then we back up and come backwards to build the plan around that. You can't wait until you're in the middle of a storm to go find shelter. You're already wet. Well, an alloy is a metal where you take several metals and you combine them to make them stronger than they are individually. When you think about retirement planning, that's exactly what we do here. We're going to take a portfolio and combine it together to make it stronger than it was on its own. At Alloy Wealth, I feel like we work best with couples and individuals that have an open mind about life. They're positive, they're enthusiastic, they have an idea of what they want to do, and they like the idea of having a written financial plan that can help ensure their success in doing that. What we do is we're money managers. We're fiduciaries. We partner up with our clients. So think of us as a holistic firm where we're looking at more than just the dollars, and you have to kind of get all that correct. And welcome back on Living Large Radio. Living Large Radio is a big part of what I do. Each week I'm able to talk about topics that people need to hear about and give them insights into how to do retirement. Living Large Radio was really designed around the 5 F's, which is faith, family, friends, finance, and fitness. Because I believe in life you have to get all those correct. So when I think of what I do and how I try to get those right, for me personally, one is focusing on others through my job, but it's also focusing on others through my church. You know, a big part of my life is Ridge Church, and serving there for the last 10 years has been a major part of my life, and it will be for the next 10. I couldn't imagine going to church and not serving in church. I get up every day and I'm so blessed that I get to do what I do, and I love what I do. So focusing on helping people get what they need in life has blessed me beyond my dreams. I think it was very clearly said, if you focus on what others want enough, you'll get everything in life you're looking for. Well, that has certainly been true for me, for my family, and for Alloy Wealth.
And welcome back to Living Large Television. My name is Cynthia DeFazio. I'm joined today by Mark Henry. He is CEO of Alloy Wealth Management. Mark, a great show we're having today, and we have so much fun every week on the show, obviously delivering informative information that's so important about retirement. But do you remember when I announced we had a special guest for the show? And we brought out this guy.
That's a lot of years ago.
It's a lot, and you had no idea, and it
Yep.
was so much fun. That's how much, I mean, all of
I
the
can't
history.
believe you still have
I do. I know.
Well, that would
I
have
do.
been 19 or something.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it's crazy how much time has
Yeah.
passed. But anyway, getting back to the main topic, the 4 big needs in retirement, we were on income. Let's talk a little bit further about that, because I know obviously there's income for planned expenses, right? But what about your unplanned expenses?
Well, and yeah, think about that as we jump into that. So right now, this year has been challenging for a lot of people because of investments. The markets have been kind of crazy. I do think we're getting ready to go back into another good cycle, and that's very exciting. And so it's very nervous for people because they want that to be now, and that's the problem with trying to time the market. That's why we're investors, not traders. We stay invested, we do things, but we realize that we're coming out of it, and it's going to be good. But think about life when you have got an income plan. And the world's not doing what you want it to do, or the markets in particular. And so part of your money is dropping and it's gone down. But you know without a shadow of a doubt that your income needs are met. You have a paycheck coming on the 1st. You have mailbox money. Well, you get to do life. Now maybe it's not a trip to Europe or the Viking cruise of a lifetime, but it's still Myrtle Beach. I mean, hopefully North Myrtle, I mean, I'm not picking on Myrtle, but hopefully North Myrtle, but, but you can pay the bills. Well, that gives you time to let the other monies come back without causing stress.
Yeah.
But think about all the people as we head into this recession that have no plan. They have no plan for recession. They have no plan for a rising tax environment. They have no income plan. They see their account values dropping, and they're forced to continue to take money out. Inflation's causing them to take even more, and they're going, we're not going to make it. We may have to go back to work. We may have to. It's not supposed to be like that. That is not a living large retirement.
Yeah.
That is just not supposed to work. So when you think about the number, 4 big needs, there's all kinds of needs in life, but 4 of the big ones in retirement is income. Number 1, income. So I know it's number 2. You're going to have a bucket of money that is for the other stuff, the unplanned expenses, or maybe it is planned. It's that Viking cruise. Okay, so we're going to need to plan for a big trip.
Yeah.
Okay, or maybe the roof. Think about the people in Florida that had a hurricane this year.
That's true.
And the insurance covered, but they had deductibles. They had loss of this, loss of that. Those are unplanned. So their normal income plan is taking care of the day-to-day. But now we have another expense, a new roof, a new this, and whatever. And so we have to have a bucket of money that's set aside for unplanned expenses. And that bucket can be in the markets, it can go up and down and stuff, but we're going to need to have money that is invested, that grows, so we continue to have more, but we're going to have a place that we can go get money to pay for something that was unplanned, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, and that needs to be clearly defined in your retirement plan. And then as we move into this third one, it's the thing that people don't like to talk about. We don't have a lot of time left in this segment. But a Fidelity study talked about if you're a 65-year-old couple, married couple, 65 years old, they forecast the average couple will need $300,000 for medical expenses outside of what Medicare pays for.
Wow, $300,000
in a lifetime. Now that's not long-term care. That's unplanned medical expenses. So we're going to need to look at the plan and try to build a plan so that we have money set aside for unplanned medical expenses outside of Medicare.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we are going to have to address what if long-term care does come your way. And that does not mean I'm encouraging you to go out and work with somebody to buy a long-term care policy, because most of them are junk that I look at.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean we don't plan for it. We have to have a plan. But we have to talk about how we're going to do it in the most cost-efficient manner possible. And what's going to happen if we decide to do something with money for long-term care? Where does the money go if we don't use it? Because we don't want to give it away.
Well, that's true.
Right. We need to talk about this. And we can do that as fiduciaries. Now, they're going to make us go to break. When we come back, we'll finish up and wrap up with the fourth thing that we need to talk about and really touch on all 4 of those again. But we want to make this important opportunity for you right now. And look, this is not a sales pitch. It's not an infomercial. It's supposed to be an educational show discussing the common things that are going on in people's lives. But if you're watching right now, you know you fit in this category. You need a second opinion. You need a retirement plan. And for some of you, you might be a cheapskate like me and you're not willing to go pay for it. Well, guess what? Here's your chance. If you've got $250,000 or more saved for retirement, this is it. Get your appointment book out. It's not a toll-free helpline. Just get your calendar out, pick up the phone, and make the call. 888-272-0650. For the next lucky 15 callers, whether it's Greenville or Charlotte area, we will bring you into our office, and a team of fiduciaries will sit down with you. You'll meet with them in person, one-on-one. They're licensed to do what's in your best interest legally, not a commissioned salesperson, fee-based company, but complimentary with no obligations of any kind. My team of certified financial planners will build you a written retirement plan. And at the end of the process, we'll give you the plan, and you can take and go implement it yourself if you choose to. You can go back to your current big box planner and let them implement it. Or if you're a good fit for us and we think you're a good fit and you think you are, then guess what? Maybe we'll actually work together. That'd be really cool too. But you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Let's get started on a confident financial future. 888-272-0650. Cynthia?
Mark, thank you so much. To the viewers at home, that number to call once again is 888-272-0650. We know that you have a lot of questions for Mark, and perhaps something that he said today really resonated with you and you really feel inspired to pick up that phone and call in. We highly encourage you to do so. This is your opportunity. The number once again, 888-272-0650. We're going to take a very short commercial break, but today's show is all about the 4 big needs in retirement. We have one more to go. Can you guess what it is? We'll be right back after this very short commercial break.
Do you hear that? That's me enjoying my retirement. Traveling around the world to play golf, where I want, when I want, with whomever I want. Because years ago, I rolled over my IRA with the help of a local trusted advisor.
You worked for it, you deserve it, and now's the time to implement your very own written financial plan.
You deserve a secure, independent retirement. A retirement that is prepared to handle pitfalls like inflation, health emergencies, stock market volatility, and taxation. You've worked hard for your money and will work just as hard to help you protect and grow it.
Your financial journey starts with that first phone call. Call now.
And welcome back to Living Large Television. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, and I'm joined today by Mark Henry. He is CEO of Alloy Wealth Management in Charlotte and Greenville. Mark, a great show we're having today, talking about the 4 big needs in retirement, and sometimes they're often missed. So now we're at number 4.
I think I could have done 40 big needs, but anyway, so we started with income. We talked about why that's so important and so overlooked, and it's just surprising. And then we went into the proper bucket management, having a bucket of money for the unplanned things.
Of course.
And we talked about medical needs and unplanned medical expenses that come up during retirement. And then this is one that many people have no idea how to have a legacy. But if you're like me, it's important. Now, I will tell you, I don't put that as high as importance as never being a burden to my family. I don't want to be a burden. That's higher than leaving them money. But I do have a legacy plan because, I've worked hard and I've been successful. I've been very blessed. I'm very successful. And I don't shy away from that. I think sometimes people are afraid of success. I'm not afraid of it at all. It helps me. Well, I think mine has been so much bigger than anybody deserves. And so I appreciate it. I'm very humbled by that. But I also want to leave a legacy. I want to think that it's bigger than just me getting up and going to work every day. So how do you do that? Well, you have to have a plan for that. And so many people have done so well in life. Or let's put it this way. That's a definitive answer. What I mean by that is you've done what you've done. And what you've done is just as important to you as what Cynthia's done with her money. Your legacy is your legacy. It's not about the size of it. It's really not. People think, well, I don't need a legacy, I don't have a lot. What you have is important to you.
Absolutely it is.
So why wouldn't you want to know that it's going to go to your beneficiaries, your loved ones, in the way that you want it to go to them?
Yeah, or a charity choice.
Right, a charity for many people. For many people, it's what they're passionate about. And so as a company, we have chosen to support the Travis Mills Foundation. It's a very unlikely friendship that he and I have, and it just was it's not. I don't know that I believe in coincidences. At that airport in Charlotte, when that whole thing started,
meant to be,
and it was meant to be.
Absolutely.
And then my company getting behind him, me personally getting behind him, and using my other dollars that I have that doesn't go to my church at Freedom House, and they're in Charlotte, but is donated to him because I believe in what he's doing. And if nothing else, what I love about Travis is he's showing me how much better of a human I can be, because he wasn't given much of a choice as a quadruple amputee. And one of 5 or 3, whatever you want to call it, right?
It's amazing.
And so when you think about a legacy, what's your legacy going to be? And why hasn't your current planner, quote planner, they think they're planners, why hasn't your current stockbroker talked to you about how you're going to leave your money to someone else? And there's so much involved in that. When you think about it, which bucket of money should you spend first? And which bucket should you spend last? And if you're going to leave someone money, which bucket should you leave them? And people have no idea.
It's true.
But in this country, we have to really consider that our IRAs, when we leave an IRA to a non-spousal beneficiary, a son or a daughter, grandson, we're leaving them a gift with a string attached. They can no longer take that IRA as an inherited IRA, and now they have to take it and they have to fully liquidate it within 10 years. And there's already been legislation they've talked about, if you leave them enough money, let's shorten that to 5 years, forcing them to pay much more in taxes on the money you're leaving them. Why wouldn't we have a plan in place to leave them money that doesn't have a string attached?
Yeah.
Let's put a plan in place. If you're going to leave it, let's at least leave them some. Now, me, if I could do a perfect plan for me, it'd be when, Terry and I finally go, we bounce that last check. Well, I don't want to bounce it, but, and the kids are, hey, you're good. That's, we spend it all.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. But if we're going to leave money, let's do it correctly.
Yeah.
And let's make sure it goes the way Terry and I want it to go to what we're passionate about.
Yeah.
And that gets into, does your advisor even know who you are?
Good question.
Do they even know
great
what you
one.
want to do with your money? I hear this all the time, but like so many people, they don't even know who they're working with. And what I mean by that is, if you're comfortable going to a young man or woman that has no money and they're going to tell you how to invest your money, that's fine. You get to do that. If you want to go to a firm like mine, Alloy Wealth, and I don't hide that we've been successful. And I know what it's like to have money, and I also know what it's like to lose it. I don't want to lose it again.
Right.
So we're that kind of a firm. So here's the opportunity for you right now. Absolutely complimentary. If you'll just simply reach out the phone right now, take that cell phone out and make the call, 888-272-0650. My team of fiduciaries, along with the team of planners, they're certified financial planners, they will sit down with you and 100% complimentary, no obligation of any kind. We will build you a written retirement plan based around your hopes, your dreams, and what you want to do with your money. All you have to do is call 888-272-0650. And don't forget to please reach out at travismillsfoundation.org and make a donation to my favorite charity. Cynthia?
Mark, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, most specifically, thank you for spending time with us today. That number is 888-272-0650. Be safe, be happy, be blessed. We'll see you back 1 week from today on Living Large TV.